Hello. It's always kind of strange to be on someone else's channel. Feels kind of like being on holiday, but without leaving my room, which when you put it like that, it's actually kind of great. So hey, I am Sam, and I will be kicking off Pride Book Club by talking about The 100 Nights of Hero by Isabel Greenberg. I can read, see? Off to a great start. And by talk about, I kind of mean like sing the praises of, because this one, it got me there, roughly. I'm gonna try and keep spoilers out of this, so anyone who's not read it, you can rest easy. Okay, so there are these two guys, and one of them is like, so women, am I right? You know, and the other is like, go on. Schemers, aren't they all? I'm not a fan. Nah, wait, dude, my wife is like the most obedient, womanly woman ever. Nah, man, she don't love you, and I'ma prove it. Just give me 100 days. Little do either of them know that the wife, who has a name, it is Cherry, which is a cool name. She's way smarter than both of them, and not in love with either of them. She's in love with the housemaid, Hero. So when these 100 days begin, they form a plan to keep each other safe. The 100 Nights of Hero is about love and stories and wanting more from life than people say you can have. I'm already a fan of graphic novels. Ooh, it's got pictures! So this was a pretty easy pick for me. But this book is just like as beautiful visually as the story itself is. The art is rough and personal. It kind of feels like it's been made by like a friend of yours, which completely fits the tone of the book. I was sitting on the tube with this a few days ago, and you know when you see someone reading a book on the tube and you're like, ooh, I wonder what that's about. I got to be that person. I'm pretty sure the guy next to me read half of this book over my shoulder. He must have been very confused because it was the back half, but I mean, he kept doing it. Alright, this is a book club. Let's talk about some of the themes with a capital Th. Let's start with the big one. Women. That's a theme, apparently. This is a book about women and about women's relationships of all varieties. Across the book we hear about mothers and daughters, and about sisters and friends, and of course about lovers. And these aren't earth-shattering, world-destroying, destiny-binding relationships, they're just people being close with each other. The book never tries to present these things as anything more than what they are, even, especially I would argue, in its supernatural moments. And there are some pretty weird supernatural moments in this. Our heroes are heroes because they can find comfort and joy in a world that tells them all they have to do is be obedient. The book never presents the world as being a fair place. Instead, it focuses on the way that these women live in a society that just isn't just. Matter of fact, let's talk about the way the book presents gender roles. The book takes place in a very young form of the world where society is not meant to mirror ours in any way. It's a world where men are given power, and many of them abuse it, inflicting their own rules upon others and underestimating what those around them, especially women, are capable of. And so women find their own ways of sharing stories. They still find a way of capturing the hearts and minds of people and impacting change. I also love what this says about the nature of power and what it means to have it. None of the women in this book are allowed to read or write. Many of them learn anyway, but many of them don't. And yet none of them are ever presented as being less because of this. In fact, the idea that they can impact great change without this pretty fundamental skill is kind of, well, heroic. You get it? 'Cause yeah, the men can read and write, but having access to what is essentially a privilege in this world, it doesn't make them more intelligent. If anything, their selfishness has made them ignorant. The presentation of marriage is worth talking about. Cherry is married off to a man when she's in love with a woman because, hey, not in this town apparently. And while the book presents this as being wrong, it doesn't linger on the relationship between her and her husband. It's not a story about him. Instead, it focuses on her and Hero and the love between them. It's about quiet resistance. It's about knowing the odds are stacked against you, but choosing to be the person you are anyway because it's all you can be. And hoping that the people around you are willing to stand as allies. I don't know about you, but that sounds like the kind of thing that I would read over some guy's shoulder on a tube, maybe. So, paying this forward, I would love to know one story that made you change your mind about something, a story that made you grow. You don't have to tell the story, but if you could say maybe who told you and how it made you feel, that would be great. This book is part of a big old collection of Pride books that Penguin have chosen, and a bunch of other folks are going to be talking about different stories and how they've impacted them. So keep your eyes peeled on this channel if you want more of that. You can find more of me on my channel, SuperSamStuff. I have been the titular Stuff. No, I've been Sam. This has been The 100 Nights of Hero. I highly encourage you to check it out. Have a good one.